Okay, so we're live. Welcome to Love and Money Secrets TV. I'm your host, Dame Lillian Walker, and today is a beautiful, bright, gorgeous sunny day, clear blue skies in Huntington Beach here in our studio, and it's 80 degrees. Just delicious and warm, and it's just a great, great day to be alive. Of all the places that I could be on the planet, this is really a wonderful place to be. So I'm so happy and excited to be here with you. And I am just going to dive in deep and get into our subject matter today. I have had this incredible experience and download from the 198 Collective. They actually revealed to me that their name, they don't normally reveal their names to me. This is kind of quite odd, but let me just tell you what happened as the experience per se. And this happened several days ago. I've been trying to wrap my brain, and I know better than to wrap my brain. I know that I just need to seek, just open my heart and just be in that heart space and to allow the consciousness to connect and to do its thing. But I think the fact that it said 198, the numbers immediately make my left brain go off to make sense and logicalize. So what this energetic, this energy being, and it's a collective energy, it basically approached me and in meditation, and this was not a really deep meditation. This was just, a very free flowing meditation. We're in the year of 2020. I know that this is a year of vision, of clarity, of revelations, and wow, it really has been. January 1st, I knew that this was going to be the year of just clarity, crystal clear vision. And I had a much lighter sense of vision at that time. Now I realize the profundity and the depth. It's deeper than the ocean. It goes far beyond that. The depth of vision that is being impressed upon us and revealed to us. And even with that being said, it's still just scratching the surface. So this energy body, which is enormous, they revealed themselves as the 198 Collective, and this was very much a telepathic type of communication that went between that body of energy and myself. A very sacred, a very loving, and a very beautiful healing type of protective, all-knowing type of energy. And so they approached and they said, "You complete the Trinity." And I said, "What?" And so right on, right as I heard them make that revelation that I completed the Trinity, I was thinking, 198, what does 198 have to do with anything? And I was trying to think, in numerology, I know what the number 9 signifies in numerology. I have no idea what the number 198 means in numerology. In fact, I still haven't looked it up, which I probably still should do. But what they revealed to me in short, and this is very relevant, if you're watching this video, whether you're watching this live or whether you're capturing it later, they revealed to me that I needed to do this video. Most of my mystical and interactions, most of them those are very private. I don't share with anybody. But this one, it was really impressed upon me. And let me just explain how everything unfolded. So make no mistakes. If you are watching this video, if you're watching it live, or if you are watching it at a later point in time, you are a 9. Now, you probably are going, what do you mean I am a 9? Because when it was revealed to me that I was a 9, I was like, I've never heard anybody call 9. So I have a 9 in everything. So, and I understand the universe in terms of 3, 6, 9, what Tesla talks about, how you can unlock the secrets of the universe with 3, 6, 9. But I still don't really fully understand it. I just know that that's part of, the golden mean, the Fibonacci sequencing, etc. And if you don't know what the golden mean is, or the Fibonacci sequencing, I would urge you and encourage you to look it up on YouTube and on Google, because it's fascinating science. And look up what Tesla said about the secret of 369, because it's all tied together. So this collective, the 198, went to proceed, and I saw a triangle, and I've been seeing upward and upside down and right side up triangles for some time now. For a long time, I didn't know what it meant. I had a revelation back in June of 2019 when I was in the monastery in Cancun, 7-day event that Dr. Joe put on. It was revealed to me I had this energy that was right in front of me, and it was an angelic presence. And I'd been seeing this purple and lime green energy for years, but not really knowing that it was I knew it was a good presence, but I didn't know that it was specifically a particular angelic presence. That angel revealed himself to me with name, initially without name. It took probably the better part of a week before I knew the name of that angel. It seemed kind of irrelevant, because in that realm, the names are not that's something that we as humans need, but they don't really need it. And you recognize the vibrational frequency of it, so you don't confuse it with others. It's very distinct. So anyhow, that ties in with the 198 collective. As I was engaged in this energetic exchange with the 198 collective, they revealed that they were the 198 collective, and they said, you complete the Trinity. And that was perplexing. I was like, what? How could I complete the Trinity? That doesn't make any sense. And then they pointed me back to the 198, to the numbers, the 198. And I thought, that's a nonsensical number. It doesn't mean, it's not like 1111, 222, 333, 313. It's like 198. That's kind of just like a random number. And so then they pointed me to look at the 1 and the 8, which make a 9. There's the 9, of course, in the middle. And then they said, then there's you. You complete the Trinity. So I thought, how do you go figure that I complete the Trinity? So then I said to them, I said, I know better than to argue, because I'm not going to argue with any of these things. So I said, okay, I complete the Trinity. I thought I was told that I was a 6th dimension being. And they said, you are a 6th dimension being, but you complete the Trinity of the 198. And we are going to be revealing things to you. And I said, how am I supposed to remember all this stuff? Because whenever it comes from this dimension, I understand in the moment. Everything is crystal clear there. But once I'm done and I come back, I don't have 100% recollection. I only have bits and pieces that stay with me. And they said, it's not your job to remember. Everything is being downloaded into you, and it will come up in real time. Remember, you've had dimensional overlays that have been downloaded in addition to the light codes. So apparently this is all connected. I said, oh, okay. So they said, you don't have to, you just have to be, you don't have to worry about remembering anything. And I said, okay, I still don't understand what the whole, my completing the Trinity, the number 9. So the next thing they told me was that I was going to be receiving this information, and I was to share this with you guys. And they made it very clear that only the people who find this video on these broadcasts having to do with the 198 collective, the only people that this is going to resonate with are the people who they themselves are 9s, who complete the Trinity, because we're all one. As you know, one of my mantras has been, and when I went to Cancun, day 1, I heard, I'm one with the one, I am the one. I had never said or thought that before. So in meditation, while I was on the beach, as I heard, I'm one with the one, I am the one, I somehow had like a past life kind of a memory that I had said this mantra over and over again. And from that moment forward, that needed to be my daily mantra. And so it has. It has been my daily mantra. And it's, I'll have to do another video on how we're all connected through that one thing. The circles keep completing and completing. It's a lot. So again, I don't remember it all, but apparently when I go to share this with you guys, that's when the memories, I guess, will be bubbling up and the dimensional overlays will activate for our benefit, because it's not just for me, it's for you. So make no mistakes. You're watching this video live or on a replay, it doesn't matter. There's no such thing as time in 5D. So you are finding this at the perfect time, at the right place, with the right people, for the right purpose, for your greatest good and the greater good of all. And you are called to a higher play of action, is what I'm hearing. I've never used that term either, play of action. I would have said course of action, but they're telling me no, play of action. I'm sure they'll reveal why play of action. But you are called to a higher play of action. If you didn't know it, another revelation, you're being revealed today that you are a 9. You are not only a 9, but you are either a light worker or a light seed. Whatever that might mean to you, I don't know where you are in your journey. If you don't know anything about either of those two terms, look them up. More will be revealed later. So this message is at a very small target audience. This probably won't get very many views. I don't do these videos for the views. I do it for the purpose of gifting whatever it is that's being shared with me. And this was very impressed upon me that I was supposed to be sharing the message of the 198 Collective. They didn't even say message. They just said I needed to share this. So here I am. So getting back to the numbers, they revealed the 1 + 8 = 9. Number 9 was in the middle of that number, which I thought was kind of interesting, which I didn't realize at the time. I didn't realize that until right now. And now they're saying that I complete the Trinity, I complete the 9, the Trinity of 9s, the 999. So I'm going to encourage you with excitement to look up. There's a website that I use on occasion when it comes to these numerical synchronicities, Angel Sacred Numbers, and they have really good information about pretty much every number you can think of. It's pretty extensive, so I have to put that on my to-do list. I need to check maybe we'll do it together. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do this together. Let me see if I can pull that up here on my screen. Sacred Angel Numbers. And so let me share my screen with you guys so that you see. Okay, so I just pulled it up. And let's see if we can pull up this number 198. Let's find out what it means. That's interesting. That's funny. I'm going to say it was a typo, but I don't think it was a typo. So we need to look up what the number 169 is. 6 and 9 are Tesla numbers. The 369 are the Tesla numbers. Anytime you see 369, the number 9 is the combination of 3. There's a trinity inside the number 9. There's 333. That's why the number 9 is so powerful. 3 + 6 added complete the 9. There's 2 3s in the 6, of course, and then there's the single 3, which is the trinity in and of itself, which is composed of 3 1s, which I never thought about until this very moment. But I guess they are revealing things in live time here during this broadcast. So now when I saw 169, you see somehow my fingers typed that instead of the 198. So we're going to look up 198, then we'll look up the 169, and let's see what else is going to be revealed here. So the 198, let's see. 198 is a compilation of the energies and influences of number 1, the vibrations of number 9, and the attributes of number 8. 8 is my life path number, my birth number. Number 1 relates to new beginnings, starting new ventures, motivation and progress, self-reliance, achievement, attainment. Number 1 reminds us that we create our own realities with our thoughts, ideas, belief, and actions. Number 9 resonates with the attributes of leading others by positive example, humanitarianism, and philanthropy, divine wisdom, generosity, benevolence, light working, and universal spiritual laws, your soul calling and life purpose. Number 9 also relates to conclusions and endings. Number 8 adds its vibrations of inner wisdom and personal power, manifesting wealth, abundance, and prosperity, dependability and reliability, skills and talents, achieving success, giving and receiving, and karma, and the spiritual law of cause and effect. Okay, I'm going to pause right here. They're impressing upon me. They've been really, this is part of, it's funny how everything integrates and ties in together with Dr. Joe's teachings, breaking the habit of being yourself. This work is all about self-mastery and managing your limiting beliefs and your ego. And I did a video just recently, I think it was published last week, where I talk about the difference, how you can distinguish whether in a regular normal waking state or in a meditative state, how you can distinguish your higher consciousness, the great I am that you are, your true self, your soul, as opposed to your brain and your ego and your emotional body. The thoughts, because thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. Your physical body has emotions that are recorded from past experiences. Your thoughts, activities, and emotions get stored. This is like a filing cabinet. Your conscious awareness is not bound by your ego, which is what limits you, but it's there just like nighttime is there as contrast for day to define day. The same thing, your ego there is to contrast your brain, the record memories of the past, however they were perceived, as well as to differentiate the you, the true you, who is a multidimensional, omnidimensional, unlimited being, who is pure, absolute pure love, and can create anything in all sorts of dimensions, especially this third dimension. I'm getting a tickle in my nose. I know that means, some of you know that means something. So anyhow, so let's continue reading about the number 198. So it's very important at this point in time that you focus on all the things that you can do and not limit yourself by the things that you can't do. There's always something that you can do. This quarantine, piece of cake in comparison to other experiences that I've had. For some of you who are going, oh, the sky is falling, this is the worst thing in the world, this quarantine, this blah, 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 so much limitation. Listen, things can always get infinitely better, or they can get infinitely worse. It's how you choose to look at what it is that you do have as opposed to what you don't have. There's always people that are far worse off than you and people who are far better off than you. That is life. That is part of this 3D experience. But as I sit here during the midst of this quarantine, I think that part of the reason why this has been kind of a cakewalk for me is because I had not one, not two, not three, 4 times I was on bed rest. The first time we were unsuccessful, we lost that baby. But my second pregnancy, I was on bed rest at 24 weeks of pregnancy until I gave birth. I gave birth 2 months early, but I was in the hospital the majority of that time, hooked up to monitors, hooked up to IVs, not able to eat anything. Everything is being fed to me intravenously because delivery was imminent the whole time. I spent a year in the hospital with my pregnancies. And so who would have thought, I did that 3 times. The first one, I didn't spend that much time. In fact, I spent very little time in the hospital with the first one that we lost. But the 3 children that I did have, it required a lot of medical intervention and a lot of divine intervention as well. So for me to be able to still, take a walk around the block, ride my bike, yeah, I can't have all these big social gatherings and so forth and meeting people and doing all of that, traveling. All my travel plans got basically put on pause until the latter part of this year. So to still be able to write, produce, I can still work out, still do yoga, still do Tai Chi, still do my meditative practices. I'm physically still capable of doing everything. You could see how everything, that's where Einstein was so brilliant with his theory of relativity, because everything really is relative. It's a matter of you relative to everything else. So let's move on and let's focus on, this is awesome information. You're being gifted this revelation. It happens to be coming through me. Next time it'll probably be through you. I hope that you are up to the call and that you are willing to let go and surrender to it so that it can come through you and it can magnify and amplify your life for greater things, because greater things are coming. So angel number, read here with me on this page. Angel number 198 is a message that your prayers, interesting. Angel number 198 is a message that your prayers about money and finances have been heard and acknowledged by the angelic and spiritual realms. Follow your passion and purpose, and you will automatically manifest your monetary and material supply. Your angels encourage you to devote your divine light working services to the world in your very own way, knowing that you are fully supported by the universe. Trust that your material wants and needs will be met when you follow your true path and serve your divine life purpose. Angel number 198 may also be a message from your angels that a significant phase or cycle is ending in your life, and this will have a domino effect in other areas of your life. Boy, isn't that the truth? These endings will allow for new opportunities to appear in your life that will open doors to beneficial new beginnings. This is happening for reasons that will become evident soon. Do not lament their passing or ending, but rather be open to your own passions and purpose, as these are positive and productive focal points for you. Boy, this is really super resonating with me. Angelic messages will be heard when the time is right. Open your mind and your heart, and you will hear them. Okay, number 198 relates to number 9. So this is really quite fascinating. If you add up the numbers from my address, I've got an 8 here from the 198. This is very interesting. So let's look up together the 169, because that came right before. And it's so interesting because here it talks about interesting revelation. Prayer about money and finances have been heard and have been acknowledged by the angelic and spiritual realms. It talks about trust that your material wants and needs will be met when you follow your path and you serve your divine life purpose. A significant phase or cycle is ending in your life. I want to share with you guys that when we're looking at these things, you have to look at your life as a whole. Don't get stuck in our Western mentality of segmenting personal life, business life, your social circle of friends, your workout buddies, whatever group of, your life is not that compartmentalized. In our Western world, we tend to segment and categorize and put people in boxes and put groups in boxes. My business friends, my spiritual friends, my Christian friends, my Jewish friends, blah, blah, blah. Whatever boxes you have. No, life is to be embraced in its entirety. As you have endings, cycles of action, and endings in whatever aspect of life, recognize that cycle of action touches and permeates anything and all that you are, anything and everyone, everywhere, every place, every time, simultaneously, as you change, as you recognize this door closing, whether you close the door, because make no mistakes, some doors you have to close. You have to say, you know what? The energy surrounding either this relationship, this friendship, this interaction, this group of people, this is not good for me. I'm going to close that door. with my own free will, my own volition, I'm going to close that door. Another door will open up in your realm of experience of your life. And you just have to be open to accepting that there is an open door. There's always an open door. You just have to be open and receptive to it and be willing to receive it. So you may have closed a door. You may have closed an interaction with a particular person because they weren't respecting you. And perhaps, it's not your monkey, not your circus, how people behave, but you treat people, you show people by what you allow. I love what Oprah Winfrey says. She says, you are not only responsible, you're responsible for the energy that you show up with in any space. You are also responsible for what energy you allow into your space. Ladies, I'm going to speak very specifically to you here now. We are the divine feminines. Life comes through us. The only reason this world is populated on any level is because life force energy is put into us and comes through us. Without us, we wouldn't have human beings. We wouldn't have animals. We wouldn't have pretty much anything that is alive. So life force energy comes through us, and it is how the life force energy is created and multiplied and amplified. So we have a very high responsibility. We have a responsibility to show up with a certain presence, with a certain energy, with a certain purity of love and of light in the world. And we also have to, it's amazing, the circle of life, how infinite source intelligence, God, the great I am, how the one, I've said, I'm one with the one, I am the one. We really are one with each other. The universe has created us so that there's the divine feminine, there's the divine masculine. If the divine feminine is standing in her true divine feminine power and behaving as a divine feminine and not allowing her male side to dominate, which, as Dr. John Gray has studied and is an expert on the divine feminine and masculine, he talks about men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And in his book, Beyond Mars and Venus, he talks about how if women are able to stand, men have to take responsibility and behave as a divine masculine in order for a male and a female to be balanced. Like, we need each other. A man and a woman, make no mistakes, you need each other for you to be balanced, for you to be hormonally regulated, for you to experience higher levels of joy. We do need each other. I don't care what the feminists have to say. That's not to say that single women can't be independent, self-sufficient, and do anything that a man can do. We are all capable of doing each other's roles. Now, there are certain things that, depending on how you think about them and how you behave them, the feminine energy is a receptive energy. A male energy is a penetrating energy. You're probably going, what does this have to do with the 198 collective? It has everything to do with this. It also has everything to do with what we're looking at here at the angelic number 198. Notice that the 8 is an infinity symbol. In infinity, there's no brokenness, there's no imbalance, there's no disconnect. Infinity implies a perfect harmonic balance. But you can't resist that as a divine feminine. Again, this particular portion of this message is for the divine feminine. For those of you who are the divine masculine who are watching this, because no one other, an out of whack masculine would never be watching this. This would not resonate. This would be a completely turn off. This will sound bizarre, whacked. And so we don't care about. This is for the people that this resonates. That means that you're a 9. You are completing the trinity. So you have a responsibility, as I have a responsibility. So you now understand that we are responsible for the energy that we bring into a space, and a particular space, place, and time. And we're responsible for the energies that we allow into our space too. If someone is either of abusive or, let's say, just not a good vibe, and it could be maybe no, overall they have a good vibe, but maybe they're in a place right now in their life that they're not in a good vibe, or that they're a little out of balance, or that there are energies around them that they've allowed to be in their present that now you're picking up on and doesn't feel good to you. Maybe it's heavy or burdensome. Then you have to put some distance, or you may have to close a door and say, oh no, I'm not going to allow. No, I have enough self love and self worth to know that I don't need to accept anything other than the most loving, the most pure, the most just heart centered communication and interchange and interaction with another. And so if people can't rise to the occasion, then some people are going to fall away, and you have to be okay with that. Not everybody is for a lifetime. Some interactions are just for a very short season, maybe some of them a longer season, and others will be for a lifetime, and that's fine. So in some cases you may have to shut a door, or sometimes the door is shut on you. Know that if a door is shut on you, it could be protecting you from harm in a way that you could not fathom. Oftentimes, we perceive things to be one thing and they're another. And until you start to do this type of work where you actually go in and start to know yourself, meditation just means to know yourself. So as you become more aware of your higher consciousness, your true persona, that pure love that is one with the one, that you are the one with it and it is one with you, and it is now revealing to you all those things that you weren't paying attention to as you silence the ego and say, okay, ego, now, oh my gosh, you go for, for the better part of the year, I was really mad at my ego. And it's like, oh, you're my slave. And I was like, blah, blah, blah. And recently I was shocked where all of a sudden, out of the blue, I was kissing my ego on the right cheek, the left cheek, the right cheek, the left cheek. And I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's like, you're part of my GPS system. You are part of defining the way I get it. To not listen to the ego, but it helps, just as the night defines the day. That is the ego. It's almost like a scissor. And so I recognize the value of my ego. I recognize the value of some of the negative or dark energies in the past of people who misbehaved. And I was like genuinely going, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And now it's like that is making the light shine so much brighter, and it's making the edges crisper. And the 198 is here to help you embrace the crispness of that light, of that truth, of that love, and the channel that it wants to come through you. It is a I want to call it a prana light activation code, because I was talking to somebody that I was guiding through from Hawaii, and during this meditation that we were doing a healing, it was like an interject. It's the first time I did a neuro health reset where it was revealed to me that she had a prana light activation, and it wasn't straight up and down. It was a little diagonal in her, but it was about 3 inches thick, and it just went up all the way up to her crown chakra and up. And I have a sense of that with this 198 collective. And she's definitely tied to this 198 collective. And so I just want you to be encouraged by this message. Take what resonates with you. Read this over and over again about the angel number 198. I think right now, rather than going on into more about the male, it's being impressed upon me that I need to do some videos about the interactions of male and female. Make no mistakes. If you are receiving this message at this point in time, this is increasing your estrogen, your love levels automatically, just by receiving this unknown knowledge. And you're receiving it. For me, because I'm the one that this is coming through, this is increasing my testosterone. I'm getting a lot of increase in estrogen, and I'm learning to balance that out right now too. So make no mistakes, this is an incredible synchronicity that's taking place. And I keep on seeing the number 8 on its side, even though it's straight up. If you look at this page, it's straight up. And so you need to know that the number 8, you probably are seeing it on its side too, if I'm seeing it, because we're all connected and you're completing the Trinity too. Let's move on to the number 169 and see how that 169, what does that mean? Let's see, I am curious. Okay, angel number 169. Angel number 169 is a combination of the attributes and energies of number 1, the vibrations of number 6, and the influences of number 9. Number 1 resonates with the vibrations of showing initiative, showing initiative, and tenacity, new beginnings and striving forward, pursuing goals, achievement and inspiration, self-reliance and personal strength. Number 1 tells us that we create our own realities. Oh boy, do we do. With our beliefs, thoughts, and actions. Number 6 brings its attributes of ability and stability, provision and providing, and the monetary and material aspects of life, love of home and family, nurturing and caring for others, simplicity, reliability, and responsibility, and the ability to compromise. Number 9 denotes endings and conclusions and relates to the universal spiritual laws, a higher perspective, the concept of karma, leading life as a positive example for others, benevolence and altruism, spiritual awareness and enlightenment, serving your soul mission and light working. Angel number 169 is a message from your angels that you are to take action towards living and serving your divine purpose. Your angels ask that you release any fears and anxieties about monetary issues and get on with your passion and purpose today. Your angels will ensure that you are provided with all that you need along your path. It is your right to be a powerful being. Use your personal power in a loving way that benefits yourself and others. Listen to your intuitive messages and take positive action in the direction of your soul calling. Angel number 169 is a message to stop procrastinating and get on with things. It is time for you to detach. Detach yourself from your old and outdated material possessions and items and let go and release the old. It is a message that assures you that whatever leaves your life at this time will be replaced with new and better. Oh my gosh, isn't that what I just said when I said about whether you're closing a door or a door is closed on you, how another door is open? Be open to receiving all that you deserve as you are ready for an upgrade in your new life. Angel number 169 can also suggest that you are at the end of a phase or cycle in your life. That is a wonderful thing. Call upon your angels to comfort and guide you towards your next step. Happiness and fulfillment await you with new about to enter your life. Wow, this is exciting. How funny. So I want to point out to you, in case you guys are curious, I will put a link to this in the description in this video. And so I just want to, isn't that amazing how that 169 definitely, I recognize when I hit that, I pay much more attention to all sorts of things now that are starting to reveal to me all these secret truths that I really was not aware of. So for example, when someone is speaking to me, if all of a sudden I feel like yawning or they feel like yawning, I know that yawns are an energetic shift. It's a change in oxygen levels in your being. It doesn't mean that you're sleepy. It means that you're having an energy shift. Same thing as when you sneeze, it's outward spirit. It's like instead of an inhale, you're spelling something out through a sneeze. Or the tickling of a nose. That's, again, it's the angels trying to get your attention. To tip of your side of the, like somebody's nose, so you're trying to pay attention. So yeah, my finger somehow, I don't know why it, but it did. It hit 169. And so here we are reading this, which ties in perfectly to what I said before. So there are some secrets that are being revealed right now. And I just want to let you know to tune in, tap in, and turn on to this. I don't know how many of these, that's not revealed to me. I just know that this 198 exegetical collective council is, you're part of it. That's why you're watching this video live or rebroadcast. I have to say, exegetical is probably, it's a word that's not commonly used. And in fact, what's curious was I hadn't really heard that year, probably in 4 or 5 years. When my daughter was a senior, junior, senior in high school, she had to write some exegetical papers. And so that's probably around the last time that I used that word, because that's not a word that you use in common everyday language. And as I call them God incidences go, I just had a conversation a day or two ago where in conversation, and this is on the heels of, just a few days ago, a few days prior to that, I had the revelation of the 198 Collective. That's the short name for them. And right after they revealed the 198 Exegetical Collective Council, it was just curious to me that this friend of mine, I was talking to Spencer, and we had just gone to the beach, and there were a few things that were going on. And as I talked to Spencer, Spencer said to me something about exegetical. And I thought, what are the chances that somebody brings up that word in conversation after this was revealed to me? That's a very peculiar, to me, it's a very peculiar word. I suppose if you're a theologian, which I am not, but if you're a theologian, or maybe if you're a clergyman and you're hanging around with a lot of other clergy, and you're some sort of scholar with either religion or a particular religious group, then yes, then I don't know, since I'm not in that circle, perhaps they use that word a lot. I don't. So for it to come up out of the blue, as I was talking to Spencer, I thought, interesting. As things go, I'm sharing from my own personal experience so that you see how I come across signs, how I recognize them, and then how it's revealed to me afterwards. Sometimes in the moment, but other times it's not until afterwards. So Spencer and I, we were at the beach, we were walking, and it was right after sunset. And Spencer is a surfer, so Spencer is very, very attuned, as am I, to the water, because I live a few blocks from the beach, and I've lived here in Huntington Beach since 1989, for a long time, most of my life. And so you get used to the waves during different times of the year. You know what the waves are supposed to look like. Normal looking waves, waves that are kind of violent, kind of, a little more spiky. And so the ocean behaves in a somewhat predictable manner. And even the way the sand looks, you have a certain expectation as to what the sand is going to look. Here we have, they basically, they put berms during the winter, usually November, December, January, February. This year, I think they kept them up until April. But normally, basically November to April, roughly, we're going to say, we have berms where they push up the sand. Unless you live in a beach community, you probably don't notice this. They push up the sand and they create a berm. And the berm is probably about, I want to say it's like 7, 8, 9, might be 10 feet high. And it's the sand pushed up into a giant mound. And it's a protective barrier for the houses that are actually on the beach to prevent the water, flooding those homes. And then once that high tide season is gone, then they level the berms and until the following winter. And so we're observing the water. And one of the things that I noticed was that the tide was really pulled back, like a lot back. And for the time of day, since it was at 8 o'clock at night, it's like, whoa, why is the tide so far back? Usually, especially on the heels, it was right before the full moon. When we have a full moon, then the tide is obviously very high, like last night. And so it's like, whoa, why is the tide so far back? That's an unnatural. It was really far back, and there was a lot more energy for that time of day. Instead of it just being the regular waves, it was kind of, there was like a lot more rumbling in the water. And then the next thing I noticed, I said, what's going on here? I said, hey, Spencer, check this out. Instead of the water just crashing straight on, it was crossing, literally crossing like this. And as it just crossed, I go, how is it that the waters are crossing? They're crossing this way. This doesn't make any sense. So I said, this is not normal. And of course, Spencer agreed, it's not normal. And I said, we better go. And I said, and I recall when the whole, I don't know how many of you guys remember the whole Katrina hurricane in New Orleans, and around the same, right after the whole horrible devastation of the Katrina hurricane that devastated New Orleans, I think not even maybe 4 or 5 days later, it was within the same week, Bandeache got hit with a massive tsunami that destroyed, completely changed the landscape and the terrain, took so many hotels down, so many people died. It was also horrible, like Katrina. And one of the things that happened was that the ocean all of a sudden pulled, the tide went back a mile or two, and some of the tourists and some of the locals knew that that was a bad sign. One of the things that started happening as the tide was pulling back, dogs and cows and goats started walking towards highland. And then, of course, tourists and people who weren't aware that this was a bad omen, a bad sign, they walked towards the water, and there was all these shellfish and things that you could pick, from I think a mile or two, I don't remember exactly, but it pulled in a mile. So as I saw the unnatural behavior of our ocean here, and I saw that it was pulled so far back, but yet there's a lot of energy rumbling. And I'm like, wow, those would actually be really good waves to surf right now. And Spencer, being a surfer, agreed. And I said, what was disturbing was the crossing, that the water was not coming straight forward, and it was crossing as well as pulled back. And we said, you know what, we better go. We better get out of here. So we got out of there. So sure enough, I found out that Newport Beach was being flooded. Yes, if you check the internet, you'll see that there are Balboa Pier, by the Wedge, all those streets were underwater. The water was above the curb on the street. So there was extensive flooding right there in Newport Beach, I'm on the border of Newport Beach here in Huntington. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, I knew it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And it's like, okay. So I called Spencer. I said, hey, I just found out this, and I sent Spencer the link. So that is just to say, pay attention. Things that don't look normal, that don't smell normal, that don't feel normal, things that catch your eye. Don't second guess yourself. If you see flashing lights, or if you see certain energies maybe moving in your room, especially the room that you sleep in, make no mistakes. The room that you sleep in is a sacred space. The room that this studio is in is a sacred space, because I share a lot of my spiritual practices, my personal experiences. I'm sharing my heart here with you. So there are really wonderful energies in this studio. Make no mistakes. This whole building, this whole plot of land is an incredible. I gotta say, it's like an energy vortex. It's no wonder I was so drawn to it. And it wasn't until after we took this place that my goodness, that there are more revelations about other things, and including the number that's on the numbers, I should say, that are on the building. So yeah, I'm very blessed in this studio. This has been a very magical place, and it took 7 days for this thing to come together. It was amazing. So pay attention to the signs, and if you don't know what the signs are, just you can say it out loud, or you can say it in meditation. You can ask that the signs be impressed upon you, that you would notice them, that you would recognize them. And if you're questioning if it is a sign, ask for a confirmation that it's a sign. And it's okay to ask for confirmation. They'll give you a confirmation, usually fairly quickly. It may not be instantaneous, but you'll get confirmation of what you asked for. Every time you ask, it is given. Every single time you ask, it is given. What is given may be sometimes unwanted. That's true. But it's okay. You can change the unwanted to the wanted. I've talked at great length about that. So I'm going to invite you. I think that there's a connection. I'm really, I know without a shadow of a doubt that there is a connection between the 198 Collective and this A Call to Power book. I just got this book a couple of days ago. I'm halfway done. I'm going to be interviewing the author, Sharon Mackerlane. I think it's Mackerlane. Sharon Mackerlane. So fascinating how there's so many continuing coincidences. This book is called A Call to Power. You with me, we read what the 198 power means, what the 169 power means, that I would come across this amazing author's work. And she has some incredible revelations about the Council of Grandmothers and about the net of light that I think you'll find absolutely intriguing and riveting. And she's going to be a guest here on Love and Money Secrets TV. So I'm really looking forward to that. There's some incredible things that are happening. Another coincidence, Sharon, my mother's maiden name is Sharon Mercurling. MC, most MC last names are Scottish and part Scottish, so very interesting. Anyhow, it's 53 minutes, much longer than what I anticipated. I thought this was going to be a short thing. I trusted that the 198 would reveal to me what it wanted me to impart and share with you. I've had meditations that I've come up with that are extemporaneous, that I just do them in the moment. But for the first time, I actually have a meditation that came to me in writing. And I'm going to be doing a video specifically on that. The 198 did reveal things that I needed to do a specific meditation in a specific manner. And it was very detailed when it was revealed. So luckily I had the presence of mind. They probably told me to write this down. So I wrote it down. And so I have it recorded in writing. So now I just have to record it. And so I'll be doing that. I'll probably do that today if the energy feels right today. This is a very busy broadcasting day because I have a interview tonight at 7 p.m. We'll have a special guest on our show, incredible healing, cancer healing of liver, kidney, and all sorts of very severe illness, Eduardo Osorio. So you might want to tune into that. I know that this is all somehow connected. So I'm learning to just go with the flow. That was last week. They told me I was a control freak. And I'm like, oh, but I'm much better now. I'm not as much, I don't plan everything like I used to, like super ultra plan down to the little nitty gritty detail. I don't do that anymore. They're like, yeah, but in this area of your life, you need to let go, surrender. You're taken care of. The universe has got your back. Maybe this is a message to you. But yeah, it was a couple weeks ago that they revealed to me that I was a control freak. And even my paternal grandmother said, just let go, sweetheart. You don't need to cross every T or dot your I. It's like, You don't need to be in your masculine anymore. We got your back, and your grandfather's here too. And oh, by the way, your Uncle Herman, and blah blah blah. And so I didn't even realize that I was still kind of being controlling in one aspect. I'm going to keep that to myself. I'm not going to tell you what aspect of my life where I was being controlling. But I'm like, okay. I just across the board have to let go. The saying, let go and let God. So I am acknowledging I'm one with the one. I am the one. I am letting go. I'm surrendering. I am willing to accept, receive, and embrace, which is part of the I'm going to give you one little tip. One of the things that the collective did give me was R. ARE is accept, receive, and embrace. And I think that's what we're going to call that meditation. Incredible meditation. Like, I could have never come up with it. I don't have the imagination to come up with it. So I'm excited about recording that. So I just want to make it pretty for you and all. And I'm going to trust, accept, receive, and embrace the fact that they are going to bring it all beautifully together for you so that it resonates even more. And so embrace you as your entirety, whether you're the divine masculine, the divine female, whatever aspects of creativity that want to come flowing through you, whether it's art, whether it's writing, whether it's making music, playing music, singing music, writing music, maybe composing music. This is like the most creative time for me right now. In the last 6 weeks alone, I've had this, I don't want to say it's an explosion of creativity, but I composed and wrote 7 songs, and they're already recorded. They were recorded in live time, and 4 of the songs have already been used on some of my Love and Money Secrets TV broadcasts. I don't put them on all of them, just as I'm paying attention to, as the spirit leads me, which ones need it and which ones don't. So yeah, I just two more yesterday, out of the blue, unexpected, just sat down at the piano. And so I was able to compose them, and then I was able to record them, interestingly enough. So something really divine that wants to come through you too. And as you continue to walk in belief, in the knowingness, and accepting, receiving, and embracing that the universe, that God, that infinite source intelligence, the great creator, God Almighty, Yahweh, Jehovah, has your back, and that all the divine collective energies that are healing and loving from it, all planes of existence, they are there guiding you, protecting you, and moving you forward. So, okay, that's all for now. So I'm going to send you love and light, peace and love always. And as always, my sign off, yes, is ciao for now.